Hi YouTube, so this is my second video coming back to you. So this video I'm going to talk about about my pregnancy and then my birth story or my labor story with my son. Oh, by the way, my son's name is Carter. He is 6.5 weeks old on Sunday. He'll be 7 weeks old. And he's wonderful, a joy. I think he's a little bit of a fussy baby, but more about Carter later. So my pregnancy was, I guess, textbook perfect. I didn't really have any problems. The only problems I can really think of is at 17 weeks pregnant, I was having a lot of cramping. And it turned out that it was due to dehydration, and I was dehydrated. And I guess this would be the one part of my pregnancy that quote unquote didn't go so well, but it depends on your view. Throughout my whole pregnancy, I would say the one problem I had was a lack of appetite. You know, everyone talks about being pregnant and having this huge appetite and eating all this food, and that didn't happen for me. And I'm not a person that's picky with food or that has appetite issues. That's not me at all. I love to eat. I have always loved to eat. But in my pregnancy, I just lost my desire for eating a lot of food, and I just had no appetite, and so I had to force feed myself a lot of times. And due to not having an appetite, I really didn't gain that much weight. I still gained enough and healthy weight, but I didn't gain 40 or 50 pounds. I only put on, my pre-pregnancy weight was 153, and the most I ever weighed at the doctor was 177, and that's with clothes on. So I gained about 24 pounds or less because my pre-pregnancy weight was naked, and the doctor's office, they weigh you with clothes on. So I gained 24 pounds or less. I would say probably maybe 23, 22 pounds. Anyway, my doctor said that was fine and I was really healthy, but I didn't have like huge weight gain or anything like that. Which is good because I don't have that much to lose, or don't really have that much to lose. So at 17 weeks I was dehydrated because of not eating, because you drink when you eat a lot of times, and so although I was drinking, I wasn't drinking enough because I wasn't really eating that much. So after just really focusing on my fluids, that kind of self-corrected itself and the cramping went away, but the cramps were really bad. And I mean, I thought I was going into, having a miscarriage or preterm labor or whatever. Anyway, other than that, my pregnancy was just textbook. I always measured correctly at the doctor's office. Well, no, that's not completely true. I always measured like a week to 2 weeks ahead, but that's because I have a really short torso, and so there's nowhere for the baby to go but out. And so, anyway, it doesn't matter. My pregnancy was really good. I can't really complain. It got tough sleeping only on my sides. My hips ached, and at one point I was thinking about going and getting like a prenatal massage, but I never ended up doing that. So everything was pretty good, and I delivered my son at 39 weeks and 3 days. But he was 6. Your due date is always kind of off. He was born 6 days before his due date. Anyway, my labor, I went into labor officially on a Saturday night at about 11 p.m. My husband was sleeping, and I was up watching TV. I had been on the phone with my mother-in-law, what have you. I thought my water had broken earlier in the day, and it had even gone to the hospital, but they said it wasn't amniotic fluid. I still don't really believe them, but whatever. But I don't say my water broke, but I thought I was leaking. Anyway, I was eating something and just watching TV, and I started to feel a pain. But because I had been sent back from the hospital just earlier that day, I didn't want to, get my hopes up or anything like that. Anyway, basically, I did start labor at about 11 p.m. and the contractions were probably about 40 minutes apart. Like, they weren't close at all, which is why I wasn't really sure if it was labor or, and of course, when you've never done this before, you don't know what is what. You don't know what to expect, no matter how much you read, no matter how much people tell you, no matter what class you took. We took a class at the hospital. Anyway, I really wasn't sure, and I didn't even wake my husband up. Anyway, he eventually woke up because there was something coming on at midnight. He's a runner, and track meet was being re-aired at midnight, and so he woke up to watch that. And when he woke up, I just casually mentioned, I think I'm having contractions because I'm having some really bad pains every once in a while or whatever, but I'm not really sure. And he was like, oh, okay, well, we'll see. So we watched the track meet, then we watched a movie. We went to bed about 3 p.m. and throughout the time I maybe had, 1 or 2 or maybe 3 contractions, but they were spaced out, remember, 40-50 minutes. About 3:30 in the morning, we'd gone to bed at 3. About 3:30 in the morning, a pain jolted me out of my sleep and out of the bed. And I got up and I had to sway my hips and, just kind of work through the pain. And when it was gone, I got back into bed, fell back to sleep, because I remember one thing the person that taught our class told us was, if you go into labor at night and your contractions are spaced apart, get some rest because you're going to need it. And she was so right. Anyway, I think I hear my son starting to fuss. Let's see if he falls back to sleep. Anyway, my cell phone. Hold on one second.